off. This is episode not 1, not 2, not 3, 4.
Episode 4 coming at you live. Happy President's Day, bro.
Thank you. And thank you to Mr. Washington for giving me this Monday off.
Yeah.
He's the real MVP.
Is that what it was created for, right? His birthday?
Yeah, well, Washington and then Lincoln is last week. And so they kind of meshed the two to make it a 3-day weekend, which we all appreciate.
Day. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I like your hat.
Thank you. I think it's an authentic 90s Cowboys hat. I got it for
retro,
a holiday. Bro. I can't tell you if it was my birthday or if it was Father's Day or if
Christmas.
It was. Yeah, but Ash got me this and I enjoy it quite a bit. It reminds me of the glory days because, so get this, my earliest sports memory is Alvin Hayes dunking the ball over the goalpost to win our second straight Super Bowl, I think, or maybe that was the first one. And all I remember growing up was Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl for the Cowboys. So, yeah, it's. I don't know what's worse. I don't know if it's worse to be like to have never won one or to know what that feeling's like and then to chase that dragon the rest of your life.
I think the latter is better. Yeah, it's good to have them. Yeah, be chasing them. What did Jerry call that? The glory days.
Yeah.
You ever seen those like voiceovers of him?
No. What do they say?
Oh, I'll send it to you. It's incredibly inappropriate, but it's hilarious.
He's
talking about the glory days versus the whatever current times, and yeah, it's funny. I'll send it to you.
They do a fake Jerry Jones on the ticket here in Dallas, and it cracks me up every time. He's always after Monday morning. They do the fake Jerry Jones, and it's always and Jerry Jr. is still going to school, and so's Charlotte. So he's like it's like a stay-at-home dad type. Like, and I got to go take them to school, and like, isn't he like 60? He's like, he's always giving me his macaroni art, and I got to put it on the fridge, even though it's not very good.
Dude, how old's Jerry Jones? He's up there, right? 70s?
I'm gonna say 82. That's a guess.
81.
Oh,
birthday's in October. He'll be 82 in October. Dude's getting up there.
That's the problem. He's been win now mode for 10 years, 12 years. Right? Whenever Romo got on board, it's been win now mode, and they haven't really built up a squad.
It always seems like they're right there, and then they just don't finish the year. Don't finish the playoffs, essentially.
Mm-hmm. So disappointing to be a Cowboys
fan.
So
what'd you shoot in golf?
Oh, 99? I shot a 99.
Okay.
So I got a new putter, and that was pretty good today.
Nice.
I feel like, and the other thing that really annoyed me, not that it was that annoying, but Drew sent me the forecast that it was going to be 60 with no wind. I said, yes. It was 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts to 25. I had no control over half my shots. There was a few I hit that were really nice. It just started fading hard. You're like, okay.
You wear shorts or pants?
Shorts.
Nice.
Yeah, but I wore the sweater, and it was the right choice.
Yeah, I'll say you weren't cold.
Nah.
Wasn't too cold.
The cold never bothered me anyway.
What we got today? What are we talking about?
Well, first off, you want to start with NBA All-Star Weekend?
Yeah. All-Star Weekend, All-Star break.
Second half. Yeah. What was your highlight of the All-Star Weekend?
I think I'm going to say my favorite. I'm going to start with the Celebrity All-Star Game. Friday night.
Ooh.
I think it was Friday night. Micah Parsons, MVP. Dallas's very own. 37 points, 16 rebounds. I thought that was cool.
He sent Stephen A. He sent Stephen A. to the hospital in warm-ups or something like that. He juked him so hard he twisted his ankle.
Oh my gosh, I didn't see that. I just saw he was Team Shannon, right? Team Shannon won. So that was probably my favorite. I watched the Steph Sabrina. Watched Steph win, as we both, I think, predicted. It was still close. Like, he only won by 1 or 2 shots.
It was a tight one. It was exactly what I think we It's what I wanted it to be, so people wouldn't say that it's rigged. Because Sabrina, I
Yeah,
think, tied Dame's score. Because Dame won the 3-point contest. Then
yeah.
Sabrina
She tied
came
his
by.
final round.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then she came by and she started off. I think she was perfect the first 2 racks, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken. And then she cooled down a little bit. But then, yeah, Steph stayed consistent and ended up winning by, I think, like I said, 2 shots.
yeah,
But it was good entertainment. I actually was into it.
yeah,
So, which is
yeah.
not, I haven't watched a 3-point
I
contest
think
in a couple years.
that was like the most watched part of the whole weekend, is what I've heard,
I bet.
ratings wise. Dunk competition. Man, I watched like 20 minutes of it. Did you see the Jaylen Brown dunk
Which
where
one?
he did that like after he dunked the ball.
What did he do? Do it again?
He jumped over this, I can't remember the guy's name, Kai Sinat or something like that. He's like a 5'3" guy. Jason Tatum like throws the ball up, he catches it over him, and he dunked. And I guess he wanted to do like the cover the eyes kind of thing, but he did it after he like dunked first, and then he like landed and did it. And it was just like, what is going on? But I think he like didn't have to score very high to get into the last round. But the McClung guy, he's won back-to-back years. That
Yeah, dude.
kind of. I remember watching him on like YouTube and Instagram back before. I guess maybe when he was in college or like right before he got to college, like a bunch of ball is life stuff. The dude's a beast, but I guess he's not good enough to actually play in the league.
Yeah, that's what I was. Oops, sorry. That's what I was reading is because I watched it and I watched the highlights of it and lots of dunks over people. Not a lot of impressive dunks, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think this is where YouTube has ruined the dunk contest and exposure to real life has sort of ruined the dunk contest. As you see these real impressive behind the back 360, what is the next one? 540 type dunks.
Yeah.
People just can't really do, even if you're pros, 1 out of a million people, right? 1 out of a billion people can do it. And then the pros can't quite get there. And so it just doesn't look the same. And there's also too many jumping over Shaqs. I think Shaq got jumped over twice. Too many people jumping over people.
Yeah. There's only like so much more you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else was making that point. They were like, you have the greats, we've had Vince Carter, we had whatever, Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon a couple years ago.
That was a good one.
Richardson, the guy from the Warriors, he was a beast there for a little bit. But it's like, there's only so much you can do that hasn't been done. That's almost where the appeal goes away. Because if you threw LeBron or somebody in there, they may not be able to do what, like a Mac McClung. It wouldn't look as cool.
No.
And you'd be like, oh, that was still kind of lame. But maybe we've just seen too much. Like you're saying, like anybody in the world can throw it on YouTube and go between the legs and 360 it. And doesn't have to be in the league to do that. So I don't know how they make that thing more interesting, but.
Did you see the elephant dunk I sent you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the guy gets on an elephant, the elephant throws him back, and then he gets his leg caught in the rim, but so I didn't want to count it. But that's one way to make it.
He was going for it.
Yeah, the elephant backflip, that'd be a 50. Charles Barkley would give it an 8.
Oh my goodness.
That's all right.
Look at Draymond flipping somebody in the air.
Do you see where he was like, Draymond, you hear he was talking about you? He's like, no, who? He's like, nobody.
Oh,
nobody was.
Yeah. They're going at each other.
Oh, did you like the LED court?
Which was that during the
dunk
celebrity
contest
game?
I don't know if it was there was they kept changing the court.
Yeah, no, they had it the whole time. Yeah. No, I thought that was kind of cool. That was kind of like in line with when they were doing the different courts during the in-season tournament. But, yeah. I think that anything to like add some kind of wow to it. Yeah, it makes it cool.
Well, it was pretty sweet little addition to the dunk contest. Do that.
I guess just lights.
You think it distracts the players?
Yeah, maybe, but Maybe not.
What'd you think of them getting to 200?
I thought that was cool. I mean, I watched the first 3 quarters, and the West was down by like 25 or 30 at that point. So I was like, well, it's probably not going to be a close game. So I'm going to go to bed, or I'm going to go start calling it a night or whatever. But yeah, I mean, absolutely no defense, right? Essentially, just
No.
jamming threes. Halliburton had a bunch, and then whatever, Dame had like 40, 39, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Cat had. Was it Cat that had 50, or was the other? Was it Cat or Ant?
Cat
I don't
probably
know.
had a lot. Yeah, he's sneakily like that dude can hoop, man. He's a baller.
Big ball and smash and making my
Dame went
end.
back to back in the 3-point competition.
Does Steph just not play anymore?
I guess not. I don't know how it. I don't know if you have to be a starter. I guess it really doesn't matter. I don't know how you qualify for that.
Put your name in a raffle.
Yeah, you just throw your name in a raffle and Adam Silver picks it out. Hi.
Oh, the Rising Star game. Didn't they have a G League team play against the sophomore team?
I didn't watch that game. Did you watch it or tune into it?
Nope. I just thought it was interesting. Rising star in the east.
Jalen knocks off Team Detlef to claim 2024 Panini Rising Stars.
Oh, excuse me. Panini. Brought to you by. And that's not the sandwich,
Jalen
right?
was named for honorary coach. So Jalen Rose. But it was the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah, I think it was just a normal Rising Stars. I saw something. I think it was on Complex. Or maybe you guys sent it to me this morning. It was like 7 things that the All-Star Weekend should bring back, and one of them was the rookie versus sophomore.
Yeah, do they not do that anymore?
I don't think they do that anymore. Yeah. They had like U.S. versus World like a couple years ago because it was like when Trae Young and Luka were rookies. That was kind of cool.
I remember that.
They got some work to do, man. They got some work to do.
Oh, here it is. Format was changed in 2022. 28 players, 12 rookies, 12 sophomores, and 4 G League Ignite players.
Okay, so they mixed in some G League guys.
Yeah, and drafted into 4 teams of 7, which are then coached by those 4 teams. Okay.
Oh, so did they do it like tournament style? Like they had.
Yes. So the final target score, they played a 50 or 40, I guess in this case.
Uh-huh.
And Pau Gasol, Joakim Noah, Darren Williams, Jason Terry. 24. Pau Gasol, Tamika Catchings, Jalen Rose, and Detlef Shrimp. And there's a G League team. Okay, so 21 rookies and sophomores and 7 G League players, not just Ignite. And so then the 7 G League players played on a single team. So that's what it is. There was a G League team. Okay. But it's not a specific team. It's like an all-star team of G League players.
So I guess that somewhat gives G League players to show what they're about, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Can you be like aren't there guys that you can skip college now and go straight to the G League and play for a year?
Yep.
A lot of players are doing that. Huh.
Can you guess what the G League salary is?
The minimum or the max?
I don't know. I just Google searched it.
Say the average. Well, the average used to be like 30 grand. But I think the max is now like 500 grand.
Ooh. Let's see. So the average. Alex, you do not care about my privacy. Don't lie.
Look up what Jalen Green.
Yeah, so the G League salaries will be over $40,000 per player. But it's worth noting that there's also two-way contracts, which NBA teams can maintain 2 players on 2-way contracts, and they can earn between $80,000 and $500,000 per season. So yes, if you're just straight in the G League, it looks like $40,000 is the the number. But if you're on a two-way contract, so there's something I learned this week. You can go from 80 to $500,000. Doom doom.
Yeah. Which is, I think they were doing that to allure some of the like one and done guys away.
Mm-hmm.
500 grand ain't bad, bro. I'd play a year in the G League for that.
Same,
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
What am I saying?
Trying to think of anything else All-Star wise. If they could add, people talked about one-on-one competition. None of the players are going to do that.
Nah, let the game speak for itself. I mean, like, because they don't take the All-Star game seriously. So yeah, unless you like put a monetary incentive, there ain't gonna be nothing for it.
Yeah. There's
show them the money.
That. Show me the money. I will say this, or I'll ask you this. At the All-Star break, who's your favorite to go to the finals? Team from the East, team from the West. Maybe one or two teams.
Okay, so man. That's a great question. So from the West,
it was.
I think the Clippers look really, really good and really dangerous. They got a great home record. They were bad early with Harden, but
correct.
Now they've really turned it around. Let's see, because I think they lost like several games with Harden, but now they're up to third in the West, 2 games behind Minnesota. So I like them a lot. They have championship experience with Kawhi. Great defensive team. So they look very strong. The second team, obviously the defending champs, the Nuggets. The third team I would say to watch out for is the Dallas Mavericks. So small sample size.
Yeah.
But since the trade, I think they're first in rebounding and first in defense.
Hey.
And they were near the bottom in both those categories.
Great place to be. First place is always good to be.
So, yes, I know they're not going to finish the second half of the season first in defense and first in rebounding. But man, if they could just be a mid-pack defensive and mid-pack rebounding team, the offense, I mean, they blew the doors off Oklahoma City. So you know what they can do when they're clicking. And so if they can actually get some rebounds, some second chance points, they can get some stops when this is a team that has a lot of potential. So watch out for them if injuries happen, obviously, but I'm starting to believe, man, and I don't like it. It's making me uncomfortable.
Watch out for D-Town.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your West. Clippers.
That's my West. Yeah, Clippers 1, Nuggets 2, Mavs 3. Eastern Conference, I would go, man, it's all such a cluster. The Celtics look great. They're 6 games up, so it's hard to bet against them. The Bucks have just collapsed since hiring Doc, so I just think that they're not, I don't know. I'm not a believer in that team this year. So the Knicks, and then watch out for the Pacers. That's going to be my sleeper pick. Is watch out for the Pacers second half of the season. Rick Carlisle's a great coach.
Don't sleep on Rick.
Don't sleep on Rick. And then their team, I feel like, is going to continue to mature with Siakam and just start to gel more. Because I mean, things take time. So watch out for the Pacers to make a run.
I'm going to go reverse from the way you did it. I'll start with the East. My sleeper is no surprise. It's the Heat, Miami Heat. I think they're 7th or 8th right now.
7th, yes.
7th. You can never count Jimmy Buckets out.
Not first, not second, not third, not 5th, not 6th.
They're 7th right now? Or they're 8th?
Okay. 7th.
They're going to win the play-in, and then they'll upset whoever they play in the first round. Unless it's Boston. I think Boston, right now I got Boston as my number 1, obviously.
Not bad.
I think they got the most talented team in the East, probably in the NBA. And then my second, dude, I like that Cavs team.
Really?
They got big.
Why is that?
They got Spider. They got ball
Mhm.
handlers, and then they got I can't remember the name of all the guys. They got 3 or 4 guys who can shoot the ball. Niang, Struce,
They got D Wade.
Wade. Yeah, D Wade, the white D Wade. He can spray that thing. But yeah, if they can get that dog in them, I think they got a shot at getting them out of the East. It'd be really hard to beat Boston. But yeah, West, I'm with you on the Clippers. I think Clippers are number 1. They're the most talented team. Nuggets are 2, just because they're the best team, and they're going to play the best in the playoffs. They have the most chemistry together. They're the champs. They're defending their title. I think the sleeper, not really the sleeper, but the person I'd like to see do well is the Suns. I want to see KD squad perform. Actually, my real sleeper, if I can have 4 teams,
You may. I'll allow it this time.
Don't sleep on the Warriors.
Oh, the Warriors. I thought you were going to say the Lakers.
They could sleep. They slip in at 10 or 9. They win a couple games. They get the 8th seed. They could even get the 7th seed. I wouldn't count out the Warriors. I think Steve Kerr is going to have them mentally locked and loaded by the time that they get to that point. It's just a matter if they're playing well or not. I think they can.
They got the talent. And they've been there before.
Don't sleep on Steph now.
Mm-hmm.
He'll sleep on you. Hit that bucket.
Night.
But it's going to be good. We'll see. First half was pretty legit. I'm ready for the playoffs, though. The second half of the year kind of flies by anyways.
Yeah. Springtime.
We'll sit on it and pick it back up when the playoffs start. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, the other thing on the Mavs that I was reading is they actually have a pretty soft schedule second half of the year.
Oh, nice.
So it starts tough because they start off with the Suns, Pacers, Cavs. Game against the Raptors. Then they play Celtics, 76ers, Pacers again. So
okay,
the
first 10 games are tough.
Yeah, pretty gauntlet.
And then they play the Detroit Pistons for 25 games straight.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works out. But yeah, second half of the year, they got the Pistons, Hornets, Hawks, Rockets a couple times, Jazz a couple times. So, it's not, I don't know. I predict they will move up to the 5 seed. I think we're going to get a 4-5 matchup against the Thunder. And I think they'll beat the Thunder.
We can beat the Thunder in a playoff series for sure.
Yeah. They're too young. They're not ready yet.
That'd be perfect. And then that's going to knock out 1 or 2 of the juggernauts. Mm-hmm. Gives us a better chance in the second round and WCF.
WCF, bro.
WCF. Wait, who's your MVP at the break?
I mean,
who's your most valuable player? Who?
It's hard to. I'm very biased towards Luka.
Yeah.
I was an early Luka guy. Didn't think he'd be this great. Like to qualify that. Because I wanted the Mavs to draft him because I saw him play at Real Madrid. But, leading scorer. Nearly averaging a triple-double. And I think the squad's going to win a lot of games second half of the year. Win healthy. The chemistry seems good.
He could be the guy.
I think he's going to win it this year. Unless...
He could be the guy.
He could be the guy.
He could be the guy.
Whose turn is it? Like, are we missing? Because kind of like Joel Embiid had his turn last year, even though,
Yeah, Embiid was on track to repeat until he got injured. I don't think they can give it to Joker. What did he get? 2 years in a row. Then it was Embiid's turn. He could have won it 3 years. He could have probably won it 4 years in a row. I like the small guards. I want either Jalen Brunson or Donovan Mitchell.
I think Jalen up there.
He's up there. Yeah, he's probably top 5 or 10. He's kind of carried the team a little bit when Randall was hurt. But yeah, he's had I mean, I think he's averaging like 26 or 27, but he's had 40, 50-point games.
Huh. And he
He's the
plays in
man.
New York, so that's a pretty big.
He's in New York. Yeah, they're going to be a top 4 team in the East.
Yeah.
And then Spida, shoot, the Cavs. Nobody's talking about the Cavs, man, but the Cavs are now they are. Now it's more popular. They've been hooping.
The odds that I'm reading are Joker is the odds-on favorite, followed by SGA, followed by Giannis, followed by Luca.
Oh, I forgot about SGA.
I guess because they were vying for the number 1 seed. I was gonna say I didn't think he'd be that far ahead because they have him at plus 250. They have Luca at plus 750. So might be some money opportunities. Hashtag bet responsible.
Crypto.
My crypto's doing pretty good, actually.
Crypto's doing well right now, right?
Yeah, Bitcoin over 50,000. To the moon.
To the moon, huh?
Yeah. Well, as soon as and Greg, I was right. You were wrong about crypto. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
The main thing is that the banks and the financial institutions decided it's a way they can make money, and so now it's legit.
I've seen that.
So now they're doing the ETFs.
Morgan Stanley and some of the bigger banks are doing ETF funds.
Yep. And so now it's
what's all in it? Is it just Bitcoin and Ethereum and Dogecoin and
the Bitcoin
all that stuff?
The Bitcoin ETF, I think, just has Bitcoin, and basically you can just buy a piece of the pie instead of having to own it yourself. That way you don't have to have multiple accounts. Because I think the theory behind it is, and then of course they take their 2%.
Disclaimer: we are not financial analysts.
We are not financial advisors. Please.
We are not financial analysis.
We is not analysis thereof in financial ways.
That's better than having to buy 1 Bitcoin for $50,000 now. Genesis Invitational.
Not the Exodus or Leviticus.
Genesis, right? Is what it was. In Los Angeles.
And he left California.
So who was the guy who won? I was looking at that. Hideki. I watched a little bit yesterday afternoon.
Oh, Matsuyama.
Hideki Matsuyama closes with 62.
What'd you say about my mama?
Now, what are you talking about? Tiger went out with the flu, bro. What happened to your boy?
He started good.
Yeah, he was playing pretty well Thursday. He shot like what, 1 under or maybe even?
Yeah, he was super inconsistent, which was the problem because I think he had 6 birdies and 6 bogeys, and so it's just a little bit all over the place. He's lacking the consistency that he had previously.
That shank to the right during the back spasm. That's probably the worst. I hate to say that, but that's the worst shot I've ever seen him hit.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
Felt bad. I was like, ow. Like, that looked like me trying to hit a ball 180. trying to swing too hard.
Just really going for it. Got to let loose.
Yeah. No, but it was good seeing him back at it. I think I'd like to see the guy win a major.
You think he's got it in him?
I think he's got one left in him. I'll say that much.
4 days is a lot.
Masters.
Yeah, it would be.
It could be a couple. The dude's he's only 48. I mean, 48's old for golf, professional golf, but
got some city miles on those tires.
I know, man. Yeah, he's got some miles on him. I could see it happening.
If it were to happen, I think Augusta is the course he knows really well. So I think that would be a good one. Or if there's a course that's not very hilly because of his leg.
Yeah.
Because he has to walk it, which is because I think last Masters he started off really well. And then he made the cut. And then he finished 13 over because he just fell apart the last day and a half.
And then it just showed him like limping along in the 4th round. Which, I mean, that sucks. Is it against the rules for him to get a cart?
Yes. They have to have some kind of medical exemption, and they don't give those.
Yeah, and he probably wouldn't take it anyways. As a competitor,
Seemed like an unfair advantage.
why do we like to see? Why do we all want to see
He's
Tiger
back.
win so bad?
Why do I? Because it was so incredible. Like it was.
He's our goat.
Yeah, it was amazing because he was so much better than everyone. And that's the part that still stuns me about professional sports is you have millions and millions and billions of dollars going into research and development. And you have millions of athletes around the world putting hours and hours and hours and hours in, and they're focusing and spending millions of dollars on their body and on research and on what the best this and that is. And then you have one guy just be head and shoulders above the rest, sort of like LeBron at his,
Yeah.
or Jordan at his time. It was somehow everyone's putting the hours in, and yet one guy's winning it all, and it's just
He's
and
dominating.
it's legacy stealing, which is what's so interesting because you had in Jordan's time, you had Charles Barkley never won anything. You had was Clyde
Karl
Drexler at the
Malone.
time? Karl Malone. Sorry, that's what I'm thinking of. Karl Malone never won anything. You had all these players who were Gary Payton didn't win anything until Jordan was gone.
Right.
Reggie Miller didn't win anything. You had all these guys who were great and who would have won two maybe, and then they just get stolen by one guy who is hungry, who is better. Sort of like what Mahomes is doing or what Brady's doing. And there was one U.S. Open before Tiger's life fell apart. He was playing against Rocco Mediate.
Yeah.
And they went to a playoff, and Tiger won. And I just remember going, we're never going to hear from Rocco Mediate ever again. He's going to play well here and there, but a lot of these guys, they have this one magical tournament run, and then there's the stone cold assassin just staring them in Sunday red, and he's going to take it, and he's going to.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
I saw Rocco it's funny that you say that. I was literally watching, I went to this cigar bar Saturday. Yeah, with a couple buddies. And we were watching the Chubb Open, which is like the 55 plus, whatever. And Rocco's on that tour. One of the guys sitting in the restaurant was telling that same story. He's talking about like Rocco was never like heard of after that. Or he wasn't, mainstream. He's still a good player, but he's still a professional.
Could have had his name on a trophy, and instead he's like, well, I finished second to Tiger one time.
Yeah.
Maybe we get him as a guest next time.
Have you looked at the Sunday Red clothing line or whatever?
I like the logo. What kills me is he didn't do anything. I'm looking for his name or a TW in the Tiger, and it's not there. I'm looking. So you know how the Tiger is like different teeth and everything?
Yeah.
And
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah,
Never
I just
drop.
Never miss a drop.
Never miss a drop. It's more than a shirt, it's a mindset.
We're on the same page.
Tiger Woods in red on Sundays. It's an image etched in golfing history. As iconic as his swing and as legendary as his wins. Interesting. Strong believer in lucky colors. Tiger's mother.
Tyler Woods.
Tiger Woods.
Tyler Woods is a white guy who played golf in high school. Hey, I'm Tyler Woods.
Red as a symbol of strength and dominance.
Woo.
Huh. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get me some, if they have like an underwear line, or get some of that. Maybe like a tank top. A
little bit of dry fit.
Little bit of tank top on my life. Sunday red. It's kind of weird that there is a space between sun and day, but
yeah, I don't love that.
It's whatever. Maybe that's a different way to say it.
Yeah. Sun, day, red. Maybe because it does look kind of balanced. Three letter words. Sun, day, red.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger.
Red. Yeah, it's not the
It works.
greatest.
It works.
Yeah. So Genesis Open, yeah.
Yeah. So what did you think of the golf presentation? Much quieter this week than Live.
I will say this. As soon as I tuned back in, maybe after watching a little bit of the Live, I was like, man, this is boring.
Ooh.
So they got me already.
Uh-oh. Do you think
Yeah.
if Tiger was in contention that you would be as bored?
No, but it also it kind of lost a little bit of its hype, like just in general, like that.
Yeah.
Maybe the cadence stuff worked. I didn't like it at first, and now I'm looking for it.
Like, come on, speed it up.
Yeah, I was like,
Let's
hey, let's
go.
go. Let's play golf.
What are you doing?
Uh,
Stop lining your putt up. You're not that good. Just hit it.
That's what I'm saying. Play 36 in one day. You go fast enough.
I thought I was going to do that today, and then it was 4.5 hours, and I said, nope.
Hi, God.
I got
Yeah,
5
good
on
to
it.
see Tiger back. He's the GOAT. There's no debating that, and he's the GOAT. We want to see him win a Masters. That's all men really want in today's society.
What everybody's thinking about. When will Tiger win another Masters?
Yeah.
I predict 2 years from now, he will be in contention for a major. That's all. That's as far as I'll go.
Ooh,
Like top
like that.
15 finish. Like he'll be there. I don't know if he'll,
Yeah. He'll be on the leaderboard.
because he's still Tiger.
Yeah,
It's
he's
kind of
still
like,
Tiger.
remember Jordan's last 2 seasons with the Wizards? The first last season, they went to the playoffs, and the last season, they kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But like,
He played 82 games one of those years too, right?
I think,
Yeah.
did he play him both years? Yeah, because he was a dog. Let's look up his Wizard stats. What do you think
his stat line was? I'm going to go
Yeah.
20 points. No, I'm going to go 25, 5 and 5.
All right, so first year, 22.9, so 23,
Okay.
5 and 5.
Let's go.
5.7, 5.2. Second year, 20 even. And then 6 and 3. Now, his first season with the Wizards, he only played 60 games. And the second season with the Wizards, he played 82. So, pretty
And the
dang
only reason
good.
he scored 20 is because they were probably trying to preserve his minutes. What was his minutes per game?
37 the last season.
Oh, wow. No. That's still a pretty solid. I mean, it's not 42, but.
I mean, he was playing 30, 38 with the Bulls, 38, 39 with the Bulls, all the 90s. So, it's not like it's not like he wasn't doing anything, I tell you what. So yeah, the first season they finished. Oh, what did they finish? So they were 30 and 30 with Jordan. And the second season they were 37 and 45 with Jordan. So they were pretty good, pretty decent. Maybe I don't think they made the playoffs. Now that I'm thinking about it, I would have remembered him in the playoffs with the Wizards.
I don't think they made the playoffs either. I know they had. Was Kwame Brown there? Ty Lue.
Kwame Brown.
And then, it was later. Gilbert Arenas came around. Gilbert.
I swear, Gilbert.
You think Jordan's a top 5 wizard of all time?
Yes.
I mean, he only played there 2 years.
Are we counting the bullets too?
Sure.
All right, so we have Elvin Hayes, pretty good.
Solid.
Pretty good. All-time leading scorer. Yeah, all right. John Wall, no.
Yeah, dude. John Wall's top 5.
Over Jordan?
He's in the top 5. I wouldn't say he's over. I don't know. He was there for 8 or 9 years, right?
He was there for 4.5 because he always is hurt.
Oh, okay. Bradley Beal?
Same. Overrated.
Gilbert Arenas?
This list I'm looking at has John Wall at third. In 9 seasons, Wall averaged 19 points. Like, Jordan made more.
Who's the top 5 on there?
Wes Unseld.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know who that is. Oh, because he
He
I guess they
changed his
made the
name.
playoffs and they won a championship in '78 with him. So that seems like a good. Elvin Hayes 2. And I think that was the same time they won the championship. So once again, and then
John
Wall
Wall.
3, Bradley Beal 4, Gus Johnson 5, and he played 650 or 560 games with them. So that sounds good. Gilbert
Yeah.
Arenas,
Yeah.
Walt Bellamy.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either.
Never heard of that guy.
Earl the Pearl Moore played for the
Okay.
Knicks. Huh? Phil something and Chris Webber. Chris Webber played
Chris
4
Webber?
seasons. Yeah, for the franchise.
Timeout.
Yes.
That was a joke.
Oh.
I didn't know Chris Webber played for the Wizards.
Yeah, apparently he was at the Wizards and then moved to the Kings, and that's where he became
The man.
great. Yes, because he was great at the Kings.
Oh, man. He's a hooper.
I loved and hated those teams.
Was he on there the same time like Mike Bibby and when they went to the – did they go to the finals? Or they went just to the conference finals?
They went to the conference finals because they kept on running to the Lakers.
Yeah, that was it.
They had, okay, let's see if I can do this. Mike Bibby, Doug Christie,
Yeah.
Vlade Divac, Chris Webber, Peja Stojakovic.
Yeah, that was 5. Peja was the man. I loved him too. I would shoot with him like crazy on NBA Live.
I mean, like, my brother and I revolutionized the NBA on NBA Live. We were doing the 3 and dunks. That's all we were doing, and we were winning championships. We're like, why don't more people do this?
Yeah. You guys were the Houston Rockets before the Houston Rockets were the Houston Rockets.
We invented that crap. I invented the spread offense in Madden too, but no one wanted to hear my ideas at the time.
Yeah, with Mike Vick.
Yeah, I used the Rams, and I used because I had Marshall Faulk, and I'd run 3 receivers, tight end, running back, and I had 2 running plays, 1 to the right, and then a counter to the left, and I had 3 pass plays out of it. So I just run up to the line, audible, based on what the defense was, and just keep it going, man. Keep it going.
Shout out Kurt Warner. You got
or
that
wherever
jersey.
he is.
You got that jersey behind you, isn't it?
I do. Love that guy.
I saw that at the corner of my eye. I was like, holy crap.
Shout out.
Shout out Kurt Warner.
I can't make a joke for his name. You won another Super Bowl, but you fell
Warner
short
brother.
to the Steelers and
He's
also the Patriots.
Kurt Warner brother.
Ah.
You know, one of my favorite versions of him was when he was on the Cardinals.
Yes.
That was dope. Because he was coming in to train Leinart and ended up kind of being the man, right?
He was, He was, in fact, the man. He got him to a Super Bowl. That franchise has gone the longest since like the 30s without a championship.
That was when that like scenario where Fitzgerald went off. That wasn't in the Super Bowl, was it?
I think he went off. Yeah, let's see.
He went off big. It was either in the.
He was against the Packers and he went off.
Yeah, in the NFC Championship game, I think. That's whenever they like. That was an incredible ending. It was a back and forth. I remember that because then the Cardinals they lost to the Steelers, right?
No, Fitzgerald's had 7 catches, 127 yards,
Holmes
and 2 touchdowns.
Gets his 2 feet in. Doritos commercial or something like that.
Yeah, crunch. Yeah,
I remember rooting for Kurt Warner, and I was like,
Fitzgerald had 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. Santonio Holmes had 131 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Yikes! What a freaking crazy game that was.
That was an awesome Super Bowl. Yeah.
And we're back. Welcome to Gravitas Radio. Gravitas. When Adam Silver had his State of the NBA address at the All-Star game, as he does and as David Stern did prior to him, as is tradition.
Come on.
We are nothing without our tradition, society. Otherwise, we are floating in the wind. Nothing to bind us but our own will and own whims.
What is love?
He's had the question, basically, is there's not enough defense or not enough score or is scoring out of control. And he said, well, scoring's only up 1 point a game from last year. So whatever. Now, if you look at the scoring trend, though, okay, year over year, sure, but we're going.
Okay.
So if you look at NBA scoring teams, trending up. So points per game. Number one team, the Pacers, 123 points per game.
Yeah.
The last place team is the Grizzlies with 107 points per game. Okay. Now, let's look when we were growing up, 2004, 20 years ago. So remember, 127, 107. The first place team was the Dallas Mavericks with 105 points per game. The last place team were the Raptors at 85 points per game. The last place team scores more points than the first place team 20 years ago. So you can't say, well, it's not that bad of a trend. No. And guess what? 10 years ago, the first place scoring team was the Los Angeles Clippers of Los Angeles. And they had 107.9 points per game compared to the last place team this year. So they would be tied for 29th.
That was the Blake Griffin, J.J. Redick, Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan Clippers.
Mm-hmm. And what the big thing we're seeing is this. Los Angeles Clippers. How many three-pointers did they shoot a game 10 years ago?
Currently? Or 10 years
10 years ago.
10 years ago, I'm going to go with 20.
They shot, that was a very good guess, they shot 24 three-pointers a game, making 8 of them for roughly
33%.
35%, yeah.
Yeah.
This year's Indiana Pacers, how many threes do you think they shoot a game?
45.
35. But they also shoot 38%.
Okay.
And so you're talking about 6 more threes.
Yeah.
Multiply that out, carry the one. But also the pace of play is much faster. And that's where the Warriors really changed things. And they were averaging 114 points per game. They started shooting over 31 three-pointers a game. And it was them and the Rockets were the only two shooting over 30 in 2015, 2016. Now every team shoots over 30 three-pointers a game with the with the Mavericks and the Kings and the Celtics shooting over 40 three-pointers a game. So what we have here is we have a system where everyone could shoot because everyone's a shooter now. This floor is spread, and you can't play defense. It's too thin. You're sprinting all over the corner, like trying to chase over the corner three. So my rule change proposal is as follows: each team gets to decide what the 3-point line is for their team that season.
So at their court,
their home field. It's kind of like baseball. You get to design the park how you want. Every year you can decide, I would like the 3-pointers to be 25 feet. And if you're the Warriors, you're like, no one can shoot a 3 but us.
Yeah.
Or if you're, maybe 22 feet, like put it in a little bit.
Bring it in a little bit.
Yeah. But if I was, having a lot of fun, my unofficial rule would be to change that to where you have no. Each team could pick number 1 or number 2. You take away the corner 3 because the corner 3 is what spreads the floor. It's the easiest and best shot in basketball.
Yeah,
guys shoot 40% from the corner, give or take. It's 22 feet versus 23 or 24 feet, so it's a foot closer. And you just got guys camping there. So if that was no longer there, the floor spread would be different. So you'd have to have a little bit more inside and mid-range game. And then the easiest shot in basketball or best shot in basketball would be taken away. So that would be my 2. Dream world, chaos. Anybody gets to pick how they want it. Non-dream world, we take away the corner 3. Everything's 23 feet.
Yeah. I kind of like that.
Everything's 23 and a half feet or whatever, 23.9, whatever the top is.
Yeah.
Just make it a beautiful, symmetrical, spherical,
perfect,
more religious,
ecumenical. I like that. I like just taking away the corner more than... Because would every team get the opportunity every year to update the 3-point line where it is? Okay.
Yeah, so you go through the draft, you get your roster, and you're like, okay, how can we maximize this?
Yeah. I mean, that adds an element to it. I think I'm going to tell you my rule real quick because I think it plays into your rule. Mine is just simply taking away the half-court line. I think it's useless to have it there. It's only really a factor in like the last 2 minutes of the game.
What is the half court? What would that do for the game?
So it would just it limit exactly. You don't know what it does already. You don't get that many like 8-second, half court violations. You don't have that many back courts. It's just kind of a simple rip that thing up and it's over with.
Yeah.
So now the court looks different. You take away the half court line. I like changing the 3-point line to take the corner out. I think you do that. That in itself, that changes the game right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because then it takes a job away from a guy like PJ Tucker.
In my country, when elected, we will have jobs for the people who shoot corner threes. That's the platform I'm running on.
Artificial intelligence has taken away the corner 3-point line.
Just get a robot in the corner.
I like that rule. I don't know what my approach would be if I owned a team. If I would leave it where it is. It's only for your home court, so when teams come to visit you, right?
Yep. So half the year you're going to play
probably take it out of the equation. I would make the 3-point line the half court line.
Oh, just only twos.
And take away the half court line. Yeah. But I do love the 3-pointer. It's fun.
There's that moment in the air where it's like, ooh.
It's what made white guys believe we could play the game in the past.
I believe I can fly.
See, if I can just hit three. I
believe I could touch the sky.
And then I can penetrate the lane and kick it out to a shooter. I can make a career in this even though I'm only 5'10". That's how the traditional point guard, 6 foot in heels. Yeah, man, I like it. Interesting. I wasn't expecting you to say that. Wait, so you don't? What do you think about my half court rule? It would
speed the game up. Yeah, it'd make it less technical. The game of like, he doesn't have to think about. You can't backcourt it here. It would actually take away Jeff Van Gundy's job. Where he's like, we can't throw it in the backcourt. Yeah.
Yeah. It just takes away a couple like dumb rules that no one cares about. Like the 8-second rule is stupid. They're gonna bring the ball up the court pretty slow, anyways.
You only have 24 seconds to shoot it. It's not like you're delaying the game that much.
You're gonna get it down there anyways, and then backcourt is pretty rare.
Honestly, it'd be fun. What would be the advantage? Because if you're late in the shot clock, it's not like you're gonna have someone loop all the way back around and throw it all the way back to him.
Exactly. So it just takes it away. It's like, all right, whatever, cool. We didn't need that anyways.
Give and take away.
That wasn't making an impact on the game. So, the other one I thought about for a split second, and then I quickly talked myself out of it, was I said, maybe we take away walks in baseball.
Oh.
But at that, it's already so hard to hit the baseball. That would give so much advantage to the pitcher. He'd never have to throw in the strike zone.
Mm.
The only thing would be the fatigue.
Just make him pitch it. Make him throw it.
Make him keep throwing it. So maybe it would be an advantage to the batter. Because then you could just stand there all day. Well, now you have to throw it in the strike zone. Or at least close. Maybe I'm talking myself back into this.
Hang on. Wait a second.
Hold on now.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
There's no walking in baseball.
There's no walking in baseball? The other one I thought of was the pass interference rule in football, offensive.
Okay.
Was in college it's just 15 yards. And I hate the pass interference where you chunk it deep, the quarterback underthrows him, so the receiver has to come back. The defender's in the right position, but then the wide receiver runs into him and it's a 60-yard penalty. I hate that. It's ridiculous. So maybe just 15 yards. And then someone proposed to make offensive holding only 5 yards instead of 10, so that way the refs will call it more. because Micah Parsons, Nick Bosa complained a lot how they're being held all the time. Myles Garrett is another one.
Yeah.
And they are being held all the time, but the referees don't want to throw it because a 10-yard penalty could kill a drive.
Dude, it kills a drive.
And so make it a 5-yard penalty, you'll get twice as many calls, and then maybe they'll not hold as much because they're called more.
It's more like an offsides penalty.
Yeah, so that was one that I thought was an interesting proposal to cut it in half to make sure that people actually get the call, and I thought that was pretty good. Pretty good.
My football one was when you're down in the, let's say you're like on the 1 yard line and you're going into the opposing team's end zone. If the defense jumps off sides, it's half the distance to the ball. If you jump off sides, it's 5 yards. I think it should be also half the distance. I mean, is that not fair?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like you get brought back. You can be on the half-yard line. You jump off sides. Now you're 6.5 yards back.
It doesn't matter if I jump off sides, a defender, like, if I time this right, I'm going to get a sack. I'm going to stop.
Yeah. All eyes are on me. What'd you learn this week, bro?
What did I learn this week? I learned a couple cool things. I think it's cool to see my kids enjoying themselves. And like they're playing together. So like I feel like keep doing the right thing over and over again. You don't see the results right away because you don't see the results right away. It took 1.5 years to see results with my youngest. But they both slept well through the night. And they're playing well together. They're being good boys. And so it's just like, okay, keep doing the right thing. It's not working now. Keep going. Consistency. And then there's a big difference I've noticed. Maybe I notice it in myself, but also in them. If I have my phone in my pocket versus if I have my phone put away somewhere. Because you're like, if it's in my pocket, I'll check it every once in a while.
Yeah.
You try not to be on it, but it's still there. And so if I just leave it in the house or just leave it in another room, I found that to be a huge difference in the way I pay attention to them. And I didn't think it would be that way. What's that?
Day and night difference.
Yeah, and I didn't think it'd be that way because it's not in front of my face all the time. It's in my pocket, but just get that completely out of my life for a couple hours, and it's made a huge difference. That. So those are a couple. Did you see the AI videos that they're making?
I've seen some of the like picture stuff. What about the videos? Like the NBA one?
No. The you can apparently type in a prompt into the chatbot's new.
Oh yeah, ChatGPT now is doing video prompted from text.
So the future is very interesting. The other thing I learned is I read an article on people who have chatbot significant others. Like they know, like one guy interviewed was like, he's like, I know it's a robot, but it's nice to talk to somebody. I know it's not real. He says, I know it's not real, but it sure is nice.
That's like the movie Her, right?
Yeah.
I didn't watch that, but I remember kind of hearing about it.
But yeah, just the other thing was just interesting and weird how technology is converging with reality and just blurring all the lines.
There was something I wrote down I was going to tell
blurred
you.
Lines.
You should watch. Dang it, where did I put that? There's a show on Netflix. I wrote this down so I could tell you. Literally, it's right in line with what you were just saying. Something about Joan. Let me look it up right now.
Joan
Netflix.
River. Joan of Arc.
Joan is bad or something like that. Joan is awful. Yeah. You ever seen the show Black Mirror?
I know. I don't know if I've seen a full episode, but I know the show.
It's kind of interesting. It's not necessarily. I think there's 5 or 6 seasons. It's not like a series. It's like every episode is kind of its own thing. But the Joan is awful is about like this woman who, from her cell phone, it's like how you get ads and stuff like that. Instead, it's AI, and they've turned it into a Netflix series. So it's like almost like her voice is kind of similar. Her voice is creating like a movie of her own life. And it's live in action, and she goes home to like watch Netflix with her husband, and it's her life on TV. and like all these
Whoa.
people. Yeah, all these people are texting her. They're like, "Hey, what in the world?" And she's like, "I have no clue what's going on." And so it's kind of interesting because it talks about that, and then it turns out it's like she's in like the fourth or fifth like realm of AI. It's like Inception for that kind of thing.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I watched that yesterday. I was like, man, that was super interesting. That's like right in line with everybody thinks AI is gonna. I mean, it's gonna transform the world, but it's kind of weird, man.
It is. It's just going to blur reality.
I think it will, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, we'll be able to tell. Like, I'm not talking to a robot. I
But she's
mean,
hot.
but unless she hot though, if she can cook.
She got
Anyways,
tater tots
I
and nugget
digress.
Joe.
Oh, what did I learn? I was going to tell you a couple different. I had one that was like, I'm still thinking through it. The first one's pretty simple, and it's kind of in line with what you were just saying. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was thinking about when I was a young buck, I wanted to play the drum set,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned how to eventually play it. I can still get on there and drum around, but I was somewhat intimidated by these other couple people that were like super good at it, that were like 5 to 10 years older than me,
Uh-huh.
much further down the line in the process. What I'm learning now is I think even in my 30s, I'm just now kind of understanding the process of learning a skill.
Mm.
Like being able to like really break it down and say, okay, I'm okay going through like whether it's golf, lifting weights, whatever the situation is. I'm okay going through like the failure and fumble phase before you get to like the comfort and like the unconscious kind of like just doing.
Yeah.
And I think now more than ever, I'm more comfortable doing that. But as a young guy, I didn't necessarily have like the patience or the ability to be like, okay, I'm going to sit down here 20 minutes a day and, whatever, just play this little simple set until I can like build up whatever my repertoire is. It's kind of like what you're saying with your kids. Like you want this result, but instead you're like, I'm just going to like lean into the process. I'm going to enjoy it on a daily basis and kind of go from there. I think
Nice.
that's interesting. Skill learning.
It's funny how it works. It's the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
No
Takes time.
shortcuts.
The other one I had was somewhat sentimental. When you text last week, it just kind of hit me out of the blue. Bear with me here. So, I'm trying to think if I want to tell the full story. I'll tell the quick story. I was standing in the elevator lobby trying to go down to my car from work, go home. And I heard the song Blackbird by the Beatles. You know that song?
Yeah. It's been a minute, but yeah.
Yeah. So my pops, he used to play that on the guitar. And so like when I was younger, I would like hear him playing that in the house all the time. When I went to college, first couple years being away from home, I wanted to I thought about learning guitar and I finally was like, okay, I'm just going to jump in here and do it. And that was the first song that I learned,
Let's go.
Blackbird. And for some reason, it was like, it's kind of like your comfort away from home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the question I asked myself, I was like, how many things do you have in your life that are like that? That were like things from whether you were when you were younger, from your home, like from your family that you like do in your life now, almost like subconsciously,
Yeah.
but it reminds you of like your home and it gives you kind of comfort in a way.
It's pretty interesting. I have these I'll have to show them to you next week, but I have football helmets from my childhood.
Oh yeah.
Just make me happy.
Yeah.
There's certain meals I eat. Like I have
Yeah.
hot cakes every week that just remind me of growing up. There's a few things that I got like that. They're just when you bite
Yeah.
into it, you're like, yeah, that tastes like growing up.
Isn't that wild? Like just the nostalgia stuff, but like you don't plan what that stuff's going to be. It just is what it is.
It just got to happen.
Yeah. It just has an imprint on you.
You know, it's funny. What was I telling? I was telling my wife, kind of going back to kids a little bit of, I want to have these great, we want to talk about having these great memories with our kids, blah, blah, blah. The memories I have of my dad when I was younger, like there's some set ones of like going to, what was that called? Not Tractor Supply, but something like Tractor Supply on a Saturday after
Yeah,
a soccer game. You're like, yeah, we got McDonald's, we went to Tractor Supply, we had some cinder blocks to build a garden, and that
yeah.
stuck in my head. And we went like a few weeks in a row because because it took a while to actually build everything out. So yeah, it's funny that
The
yeah,
stuff that
like you said,
sticks.
you don't get to pick what those core memories are, what those good things are. They just sort of happen while you're doing life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just kind of try to set up the best environment you can, and they're gonna remember what they remember.
Mm-hmm.
You can't control that. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Ah, man, that's some good learning, bro.
Yeah, it was good learning this week. Did you listen to Kanye's new album?
I did. I finally listened to like the second half of it when I was driving yesterday. Did you listen?
I did. What did you think? Curious what your thoughts are as the
So
musician of the group.
my high level 30,000 feet view. I mean, Kanye can produce an album in his sleep,
Yeah.
and he's incredible at doing that. I think his way of putting the songs together and then also like structuring them in a way to kind of like move in from one song to the other. He's always been incredible at that. The dude can put together an album, yeah, like I'm saying, overnight. So the Kanye piece of it was great. I think there was some samples in there from some of his old work
Yeah.
and like some older hip hop songs. I thought that was cool how he worked that in there. I will say, if I would critique anything, I would say the songs like they didn't like stick for me. I think there was a lot of there's a lot of sexual reference in there,
Yes.
and that was like, okay, I get it, whatever. But I think some of his older like 808s and heartbreaks, like that older stuff, like the
Uh,
songs would just stick with you more. And you'd almost be like, I want to go back and listen to that again. This one, it's like you could listen to the whole album 2 or 3 times and then kind of be like, I don't remember any of the songs. Almost like it's a little vaporous.
yeah.
I hate to
I,
say that, but like it's a little vapor in the wind kind of. You're like, okay, there it is, like, and now it's gone.
yeah, that was gonna be my critique of it is nothing really stuck with me.
Yeah.
There was no lights. There was no stronger. Like graduation. I had a few songs that stuck with me.
Right.
Um, what was the one? Even Donda, Jesus Lord was. I loved
Yeah.
that rhythm. And
Yeah.
then what was the other one? Runway. Like I loved it back in the I think it's the
Yeah.
Dark and Twisted Fantasy. The Runway had this great little dun 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 dun.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and then
The piano
Power was
thing.
in there. Yeah, so every album of his, even if I'm not familiar with every single out song from every album. At least every album had one song where you're like, oh yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one. Jesus Walks from College Dropout. In Jesus is King, you had let's see, what was the main one? Use This Gospel was the main one, but even
Use
every
this
hour,
gospel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Selah
Yeah.
was in the preview to whatever Fast and Furious movie that was. So there was all these different albums had at least one or two songs that stuck with you that you're like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right, all right. But this one, it just didn't seem to have that something that hit you the same way that his other
Yeah.
albums did. So yes, I agree 100% with your critique and or
The only
praise.
one that somewhat grabbed me was I thought the song with his daughter was kind of cool. The Trouble or whatever, You
I didn't
Talking.
I didn't realize that was with his daughter.
Yeah, that's the the girl in there is his daughter.
Oh,
Track number 4 featuring Northwest.
oh, duh.
Yeah, man. It was I think it's almost like the music was kind of shallow. And you're so used to him being like somewhat introspective and kind of deep. and you're like, man, it's kind of getting shallow.
He's the type of artist that you would think would cut his ear off.
Yeah,
or
100%.
burn his house down or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because he is like that deep, trapped in the maze and labyrinth of his mind. But yeah,
Correct.
I agree. It was just like, okay, that was a pretty good little beat. Okay, that was a pretty good little song.
Yeah.
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 What would you give it out of 10?
Probably like a 6.
Yeah.
5.5 maybe. There's a couple funny lines in there.
7.2.
7.2.
7.2. You know, it's a passing grade, but you're like, man, I gotta do well on the midterm.
Yeah. I see. I would great if it's passing. I would listen to it again, and I don't know if I'd listen to it again.
Fair.
So that's where I'm 6.5. It's close. There's a couple songs I'd probably give it another go, but not the whole album.
Yeah.
That's that.